else hear that? Seems familiar, but I could have sworn I've heard it before, but I haven't heard it for years, and yet... wait. Oh, God. But I've got a pizza in the... Fine, I can't upset the gods. This is where the signal's going, so keep going. So then, what happens now? Do I just stand here and wait for a signal to beam in, or... I don't really remember how this... Oh, there's a video? Up here? In shining daylight in my eyes? Alright, fine, I'll do what the god says. I don't know why I'm doing these ones either. I guess it's the only other series remaining that I had on DVD and videotapes that I can write a decent amount of material from. Maybe. We'll see. Already I feel uncomfortable at the thought of two giant eyes in the sky staring at you. They can see everything. So, what the fuck was the thought process of having a baby's face being a physical representation of the sun? Is it a symbolism thing? Like, the happiness and preciousness of a child is what makes the world go round, the same way the sun keeps life going? Or the bright, warm spirit of a young child is the motivation for life to continue forwards? It's just too adoring to ignore? Or maybe the crew just didn't really care about what they decided to put to the screen, as long as there's something of editing magic to amuse the 2-year-olds watching. I don't know.
Over the hills and far away.
A million miles from LA.
One, 2, 3.
How can they launch out of the hole at the top if it leads to a slide going downwards? You know how hard it is for young'uns to climb up a slide, let alone jump from one? balloons. Look at our new CGI technology. We can make balloons for you. Hey, you know what? Let's surprise the kids by bursting them loudly. That'll wake them up.
Tinky Winky,
Tinky Winky,
Dipsy, La La, Po.
What made them come up with the names of these things? My best guess is that they were mimicking what toddlers, who still haven't mastered human speech yet, would say certain things. Like, I'd imagine Tinky Winky would be how they would say Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Dipsy would be, I don't know, what their parents say when they dip their carrot sticks into mayonnaise or something. I have no idea. La La is what they were told when they sing a song, teaching them about sound. And Po? I don't even want to say it. I have standards.
Tinky Winky, Dipsy, La La, Po.
Screw around your organs made from circuitry by randomly bumping their stomachs together. Wouldn't it also break the supposed glass in their screens? Why are they running away in different directions when the windmill is blowing? This isn't really what they usually do whenever the windmill does anything. They're acting as if the windmill is a bomb siren and they're running away in all directions to take cover somewhere.
Where have the Teletubbies gone?
How should I know? Nursery rhymes? Again? I feel like describing and questioning in great detail and ignorance 50 rhymes on a previous video was enough. But apparently not, as my actual childhood says. Yet this is one of the many things that educates the Teletubbies, and by extension the toddler audience, about the realm outside of Teletubbyland. One of them being these voice trumpets. To me, they always look like bronze cookies with all of the chocolate chips picked off, and it's inside of a metal smoking pipe. You see what watching a show this creatively bizarre for many years does to a child's mind?
Oh, the grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill.
Oh, we're actually starting with the grand old Duke of York. Are they gonna sing the gun lyric where all of the men shoot themselves on the hill, or...
And he marched them down again.
Ow!
I feel a bit uneasy saying this, but who hasn't tried going up and down something that requires climbing whenever they hear or think of this rhyme? Like on a climbing area, or if there really is hilly terrain where you lived.
And when they were up, they were up.
No! Happy cake!
Tipsy took a while processing the word up.
And when they were done, they were done. When they were only halfway up.
Are the Teletubbies feeling the tedium of the men going up and down the hill multiple times to march, beat their drums, play their pipes, and bang their guns? At one or two times in the show, the Teletubbies have to stop whatever it is they're doing, resolved or not, and follow the strong signals of this windmill. Yeah, run straight towards it. No matter what it is. It's like the windmill is their god or something. Why do they always decide to fall and stay on the ground for a few moments when they're supposed to be following the orders of their windmill god? So what happens here is, there are only so many times of each day where the windmill detects strong signals to the outside world, and every time the windmill does alert the Teletubbies with its frantic spins and specific whooshing sound, they all have to run all the way up to the top of the highest hill in Teletubbyland so that they can have the best signal from the windmill into their antennas, and therefore showing the clearest picture in their television tummies. Yeah, those weird, oddly shaped little rods sticking out of their heads weren't one of the strange design choices for this show. You know, Tinky Winky's coat hanger, Dipsy's iron spike, Lala's curly french fry, and Poe's bobble wand. They are meant to be antennas, mimicking old-timey televisions that had antennas of their own. I feel like that's a gimmick that could only work, really, in the 20th century. Which this show barely is, because otherwise all the 21st century kids are going to see are a coat hanger, an iron spike, a curly chip, and a bobble wand.
Uh-oh!
Now we'll have to sit through the many showcases of real-world events and activities from kids who can't really talk properly. And what is this first one about?
The grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill and marched them down again. And when they were up, they were up. And when they were down, they were down. And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down.
They dragged a grand piano all the way from whatever building it came from to the middle of some random field just so someone can do a soft, smooth jazz cover of The Grand Old Duke of York? Is it fair to say that this was the point in early filming where the crew didn't know how silly or random to make this show yet? I mean, the singer, while he's got talent, has this constant goofy look on his face while he's singing in a pandering tone, and this isn't even performed at a birthday party area or a concert hall or a theater or anything. Instead, it's being played in these huge gardens of this random place with no clear celebration in sight, with no seats either, so the kids are left to either dance like they were instructed to by the film crew, or just run around in circles aimlessly around the band, increasing the chances of them touching piano keys, pushing the performers, and interrupting their act. And this is only the first one of these real-world segments. I don't think I'm prepared. This jazzy band is way too good for a show like this. I mean, really impressive saxophone work used on the same tape as some 8-foot-tall colourful creatures who speak like toddlers and have television screens in their bodies. Although, what would you really expect from ragdoll productions in the 2000s? They went from the calm, comforting, storytelling Brum in the 90s
Oh, my wheels and wipers. What a lot of things for the weekend.
to the loud, jazzy, wacky, superhero slapstick Brum shortly after the Teletubbies.
The grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill and he marched them down again.
The kids aren't even paying attention to the music. They would just rather want to run around these gardens just because they're not at home. See what I mean about these musicians being wasted on this show?
And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down.
Is this boy the singer's son or something? How come he's now decided to stand alongside him for the rest of this performance?
Again.
I must say, though, it's nice to have the only one of these segments be a professionally made musical number to entertain us, even if it is covering a nursery rhyme that doesn't deserve jazz this good. But now we must end our sudden Top of the Pops band performance to go back to our regularly scheduled Teletubbies tape. To think that this is now just a boring man-made lake now, since the nearby locals didn't want any more intruders and photographers trespassing here after the show ended and became popular. It had to suffer the same fate as the cottage from Tots TV. It's so unsettling seeing an iconic location from your childhood abandoned and rotting away in a dark, overgrown, haunting area where it was once bright, colourful, and aesthetically pleasing. Spooky.
Uh-oh.
One day, in Teletubby Land, Lala was eating her tubby toast.
Oh,
I sometimes forget that this show has a narrator in it. Who is he anyway?
I'm still faster than you. You'd get all puffed out if you whizzed along like me. Ah! It's Rumble in the Jungle, the craziest action game. Crank the Wheel of Doom. Can't you see I'm refueling? You might have caused an accident.
Wait, I can smell a rabbit.
This guy is fucking everywhere, I swear to Christ! One thing I forgot to mention about these voice trumpets is that they can emerge anywhere. Yeah, it doesn't matter if there's a hole built for them underneath them or not. They can appear anywhere in the outdoor landscape or indoors through a solid floor. It's like the metal pipes containing their circuitry move around constantly underground and stopping and raising at the exact place where the Teletubbies currently are. Imagine doing anything in your life and then these big metal speakers come in out of nowhere and just play random music for you. Can you imagine having a life like that?
Good morning, good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning to you. When the band began to play, the stars were shining bright.
Snooze button.
Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle.
I don't think this rhyme was sung in that other tape I reviewed, so at least there's some new material here.
The cow jumped over the moon. The little dog laughed to see such fun.
And what is the reasoning for all of these random things? Well, the cow jumping over the moon simply means she was delighted about something. Some have compared the cat and the fiddle with Catherine of Aragon, Catherine I of Russia, or some other royal figures of the time. Some have connected the rhyme to constellations. Leo the cat, Lyra the fiddle, Taurus the cow, Canis Minor the little dog, and Ursa Major and Minor the big and little dippers. Or the dish and the spoon. Or it was all meant to be a nonsense verse, a type of literary nonsense. Fine by me, if it means not having to analyze random shit like this anymore.
The dish ran away with the spoon.
Again!
Oh god, we now have to listen to this rhyme 7 times in 5 minutes. 7 times! Including the singer dragging out the word "and" at the end. It was an audible chore just editing that. They thought toddlers could enjoy any mindless slop they just put on the screen, didn't they?
Dipsy wondered what Lala was doing.
What Lala doing?
So Lala showed Dipsy her special dance.
The Teletubbies don't really have the brains or thinking capabilities to do any of these things themselves. They have to wait for the narrator to speak, then repeat or do what he says afterwards. Dipsy wouldn't have thought to ask Lala what she was doing until after Tim Whitnall said that he had to.
Tinky Winky wondered what Lala and Dipsy were doing.
What doing, Lala and Dipsy?
We all agree the Sharon Miller era from Thomas was boring and repetitive with its 3 strikes formula. Not a single one of those episodes comes close to this. We have to slowly watch each of the 3 other Tubbies come in, say hi, ask what the others are doing, show them the dance along with the rhyme, and they have to run around the central console thingy with Noo-Noo, getting obviously sped up and repeated in post-production each time. I feel so bored watching this for the first time in years, and I'm not even a quarter of the way through the first tape. What have I got myself into? Oh yeah, one of the so-called magical events. This is the show taking 3 to 7 minutes of your time to show a piece of animation with a little something to take from them. The most infamous example is the Lion and the Bear sketch, which scared many toddlers back then.
I am the scary lion. with big, scary teeth.
Now let them be scared. How are they supposed to remember it or leave a lasting impact on them if it wasn't creepy or threatening? There's a reason we all still remember the donkey scene from Pinocchio, Ratican's murderous display in The Great Mouse Detective, Stepney nearly getting killed in season 5. Anyways, back on point. What's this first event we see? The life cycle of a tree, through the 4 seasons, the colors of the leaves, and even having some doves resting on it. I like it. It's honestly one of the better magical events in the show.
Somebody's coming! Somebody's coming!
What? I have rewatched these tapes and enough episodes of the show on CBeebies enough times to remember nearly all of the magical events and doing those number segments. And yet I don't ever remember the flowers talking. Was this an early concept that they just put in the first season and then immediately dropped it soon afterwards?
Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down, all the way down.
This show is so catered towards toddlers that they couldn't even keep the original lyric of broke his crown and just repeated the word down again. Dipsy almost crushed that little rabbit there. Wait, did I say little rabbit? Well, that's what the filmed footage makes you think ever since childhood, but once you find out that since the costumes were around 8 feet tall, and so they needed a huge species of background rabbit so as not to break the illusion, you can't unsee it for the rest of your life. I'm still baffled about how they can just emerge from the floor like that. It's weird.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
It's a shame the show was never set at night. Otherwise, they could have edited in some visual representation of the star in its true form.
Tickle, tickle, little bar. Tickle, bada, bada, ba. Tickle, bada, cuppa, die. Da, ba, lick, da, ba, die.
Did I mention yet that these guys were voiced by adults? Like Poi Fan Lee, who would later be famed for the CBeebies program Show Me, Show Me, and presenting the channel in general, was instructed to do some baby talk in this show, just to get a quick bit of cash.
I'm gonna read my brother a story.
We're gonna hear a story in a tape that's centered around nursery rhyme segments? Right. And what is this story about? A gingerbread man! There are way too many coincidences with these last few videos. It's almost like it was meant to be.
I can hop like a frog, I can jump like a flea.
I'm sorry, he can jump like a what?
I can hop like a frog, I can jump like a flea.
Nope, still didn't get that.
You'll never catch me, I'm the gingerbread flyer. Going higher and higher and higher and higher.
I don't know what's a worse fate for a gingerbread man, getting eaten by a fox as a result of your cockiness, or flying so far up into the sky that your balloon bursts after entering the atmosphere and you fall down millions of miles below and instantly dies from crashing into the concrete ground into little crumbly pieces. Or, if you like, getting all moldy and having to rot away in a rubbish tip, probably getting crushed by the machines there.
Patter cake, baker's man. Bake me a cake as fast as you can. Pat it and prick it and mark it with B. Put it in the oven for baby and me.
I've seen the comments of the other rhyme video before YouTube. I recall some of you saying that mark it with B means labeling that specific cake for the baby and the kid in the rhyme. B for baby. Still makes no sense since babies don't have any teeth to eat cake.
One day, in Teletubby Land, something appeared from far away.
How come this didn't give the toddlers nightmares? Where are the articles claiming that a Karen's child couldn't sleep over seeing a hot pink, spring-eyed, derpy, fluffy spider popping up in front of his face? I didn't know that Teletubbies could eat their tubby custard outdoors. I mean, they rarely ever do. Maybe their living quarters could benefit from some outdoor tables and chairs, like in most pubs and restaurants. It hardly ever rains in this realm anyway, so they might as well.
Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet, eating her curds and whey.
Oh wait, they're eating it outside just so that they can reenact Little Miss Muffet. Right.
And frightened Miss Muffet away.
Run away! Run away! Run away! Run away!
She doesn't look very frightened to me, though I think it's because her voice actress, Nikki Smedley, is the only one here who is actually genuinely enjoying her role.
Tubby-tastic.
It lowered back down, only for it to rise up again 10 seconds later.
And frightened Miss Muffet away.
Oh! Oh! Po Bite by the way!
Okay, she's actually breaking convention for probably the only time in the show. Poe is going against the narrator or the speaker's orders and ending the rhyme her own way. You know, for being the youngest Teletubby, she's got some real balls fighting back against a spider.
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall.
Really late response.
Humpty Dumpty had a great fall.
I didn't know these trumpets could do sound effects as well.
Couldn't put Humpty together again.
Oh, no! No!
They are unknowingly laughing over the death of a sentient egg. I know, it's because they enjoy the rhyme, but still, this innocent egg just died in an accident. There's no easy way for him to recover, and they are laughing straight after this just because, again, rhymes with men.
Ride a cock horse to Banbury Cross to see a fine lady upon a white horse.
What's really the difference between a cock horse and a regular horse? A high-spirited horse? Or a hobby horse toy? Okay.
With rings on her fingers and bells on her toes, she shall have music wherever she goes.
Fair enough. I mean, it's easier than to take an entire brass band with her in a cart when she's just popping out to the local market.
She shall have music wherever she goes.
Teletubbies can also teleport from one side of the screen to the other. I'm learning so much about this show that I forgot were even a thing. My God, there are hundreds of them. They will forever invade your privacy. What was really the point of that? They all just went tick-tock, tickety-tock, and then the scene just stopped to do another summoning sequence. Would you rather they just did something of worth for 30 seconds, rather than just questionable fluff they just decided to waste filming time on? Oh, it's the jazz singer guy we saw in a yellow suit earlier. I never thought we'd see him again. Seriously, I had hardly ever watched these two tapes as much as the others I've reviewed over the years. I've mostly forgotten most of this nursery rhyme tape.
Hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck one, the mouse ran down. Hickory dickory dock.
Are they really just going to repeat the 1 o'clock lyric ad nauseum until they've decided they've had enough? There are other verses to the rhyme, you know. Couldn't you have at least gone to 3 o'clock? Well, at the very least, the kids have calmed down now. They aren't just running around this school assembly hall and are actually paying attention to the singing. Though some of them have decided to rest on top of the piano, meaning that they are placing their hands all over it, risking the pianist getting distracted.
When the cat came out, the mouse ran up the clock. Yeah! When the cat came out, the mouse ran up the clock. He ran so fast it hit the hickory dickory rock.
Wait, original lyrics to a nursery rhyme that's been around for centuries? My God, this guy does have talent. And so does the pianist, of course. That solo is way too good for a show like this. Wait, they can slide up the slide? I'm glad that we've got an explanation for how they can jump out of the ceiling hole in the opening intro, but you're just motivating the kids to do something they'll never be able to do at their age.
1, 2,
The mouse ran down.
Repeating the same gag 4 more times, copying the same footage over and over and over again, just to fill up the runtime. This'll be great.
The clock struck 8.
Uh-oh. 8. Ooh.
8? The same 4 clips repeated 8 times in a row now? Well, at the very, very least, they are sparing us the tedium of potentially seeing them 10 or 12 times in a row. We end this tape not with another one of those magical events, which there are still plenty of which we haven't seen, by the way, with the Teletubbies just randomly dancing. I think this nursery rhyme tape is the biggest nothing burger out of the entire VHS collection my family used to have. I mean, even this tape that looks like a cheaply made bootleg At least it gave us a little bit of information about the Texas State Railroad and a specific American diesel yard. But this one? There's hardly anything memorable about it, or anything to take away from it. It's all just a full-on hour of harmless, colourful, child-pandering fluff. And I've still got another hour of content to go through.
Time for Teletubbies.
Tinky Winky,
Tinky Winky,
Dipsy, La La,
La la.
Po, Teletubbies,
Teletubbies.
say hello.
Bye-bye. Ow.
One day, in Teletubby Land, the Teletubbies were feeling very happy.
Aren't they always feeling happy?
Oh dear, what a mess.
I haven't mentioned Noo-Noo all that much, haven't I? I like him. I feel as if he's the straight man in the middle of this world of weird strangeness. He only communicates with whirring machine noises, but you can picture what's going through his mind by the way he is puppeted. Like, you can see him being all confused when Tinky Winky is going up and down the slide 8 times in a row. I think he might be my favourite character in the show, despite him always being used as the Teletubbies' house-cleaning pet, as demonstrated in the next few minutes.
Tubby custard! Tubby custard!
The audible squirts aren't even synced up to the visual squirts from the tap.
Tubby custard! Tubby custard!
Were they all doing this just for the fun of it? Because they felt like they could? Or have they never used this tubby custard machine before? Yeah, don't let little kids be in charge of handling any machines. Then broken shenanigans like this will happen, burning the machine to the point of repair. How many bread slices can you imagine were in the Tubby toaster? Do the Teletubbies have to fill it up with new sliced loaves once it runs out? Or does it have a magically infinite amount of slices?
What a lot of mess. And so the Noo-Noo tidied up.
I know Noo-Noo's gimmick is that he cleans up the... Oh, wait. Tubbytronic Superdome, but was there any way for the Tubbies to clean it up themselves, just to teach them a lesson? At the very least, making their own beds? Like, do you really need Noo-Noo to do that? It's just one of the diseases you catch when being an adult, but you can clearly see which filmed clips were reversed in post-production. They had Noo-Noo's hose blowing Tubby Custard against the machine, and later cleaned it up themselves off-camera. That's actually amusing to picture in your mind.
Oh, thank you, Noo-Noo!
Well, they did say thanks to him at the very least, so there's that. Now enjoy a little montage of B-roll they filmed of the giant rabbits they had, complete with Ragdoll Productions' signature music. One point the original series has over the 2015 reboot is that Teletubbyland feels like a real place in real life. simply because it was filmed in a real place in real life. Real grass, real hills, real skies, real weather, real sunlight, real living rabbits. You're engrossed more in this take on the land because they were real elements filmed in front of a camera with hardly any post-editing. Whereas Teletubby Land in the reboot... is so obviously fake. I can just smell the stadium-sized blue screen room from here.
Tinky Winky!
Dipsy! La la!
I had to skip an entire 3-minute sketch of them dancing to get to this point, because there really isn't anything of worth to say about it other than I like the music in it. I kinda like the background music in general, really. Just from listening to the instruments and arrangements of any sample, it really makes you think, oh yeah, that's Ragdoll Productions. You just recognize the style of theirs, you know? I know at least someone in my audience is thinking about it, but don't. These and those are minors.
Black cake. It's all on her arms. Blue paint.
I'm not even going to say anything about her painting her arms instead of the canvas. They're young yet. They should have put this in a museum. Their work here is just as beautiful as in any of their colouring books. Look, they've even painted around the outline and everything. Though each of their parents must have had a hard time cleaning them in the bath that evening. Seriously, look at them. All over their feet and almost up to their shoulders.
One day, in Teletubby Land, something appeared from far away.
Things can just randomly teleport from the human world into Teletubby Land at unexpected times of any day. No rhyme or reason. Do you think anyone's missing socks ended up here?
Tinky Winky pull string!
It must have taken the crew, at most, an hour to curl all of this prop string into a ball, only for Tinky Winky, with his lack of fingers, to unravel it all for the story.
Look!
Ooh, what's that?
Pardon?
What's that?
Twing!
Pardon?
Twing!
I don't know why they decide to communicate from 50 feet away.
Ooh, what's that?
Hello, it's a worm. See a worm, pick it up. All the day you'll have a worm.
Dipsy trod on the string.
Dipsy trod on the string.
The narrator asks Dipsy to do something accidental, and then he just does it without question.
Uh-oh!
Oh dear!
And is anyone else finding it distracting how the show just randomly cuts to the sun baby laughing or smiling, and then it just cuts back to the story like it didn't even happen? I don't really see a point to it. I mean, how would you people like it if I suddenly cut over to a random object for 15 seconds for no reason? Reason whatsoever? It would be pretty distracting, wouldn't it?
Po was going very fast on her scooter.
Very fast, as in the editors just sped up the camera footage. Given how Noo-Noo normally cleans things, this looks like he's sucking the string up like he's slurping up the longest single piece of spaghetti known to man.
Dipsy's Bill Custard, look! Dipsy won't let us sit.
So Lala lets Dipsy sit on her tubby seat.
Noo-Noo's probably sitting there on the side, being like, I'm just going to let the chaos unfold. I need a bit of entertainment during my break.
Lala had nowhere to sit.
Lala be nowhere to sit.
Lala didn't want to sit in the tubby custard, so Lala sang a song.
When life gives you a situation you can't solve, in your own mind anyway, you end up singing a song about it. That's just the entirety of modern music today, the more I think about it. I guess Noo-Noo really was on his break. I'm guessing the questionable singing was the straw that broke the camel's back.
All the Teletubbies were sitting down.
And after all of that effort, trying to sit themselves down, probably feeling rather tired and hungry in the process, the windmill summons them, and they can't eat their custard. The tape just wasted 10 whole minutes of your time for a goal that ended up being fruitless. Great.
Don't stop blow.
Oh god, they're allowing these 5-year-olds to do one of the more hazardous art activities they can do. Don't suck through the straws, only blow. Yeah, and then they curiously suck it up anyway, cough, upset stomach, rush to the hospital.
Look at it.
What is it with kids always rubbing paint all up their arms?
I can see all different colours in them.
Did they really choose to film on a day when the neighbour is building a new tool shed or whatever he's hammering in the background?
One day, in Teletubbyland, the Teletubbies were watching the clouds float by.
It's funny you say that when it's so sunny out that there aren't any clouds in the sky.
And do you know what happened? The little puffy cloud floated indoors.
Wow, this looks, honestly, impressive. Something we have never seen in a familiar set before. And the music helps to show the viewers how magical and whimsical this looks. Oh yeah, how do you expect Noo-Noo to clean all of this up without getting so full to the point of bursting? Oh, now the squirting noise is synced up.
The Teletubbies found it rather inconvenient having a cloud indoors.
Inconvenient.
I don't think the toddler audience would know what the word inconvenient means. Wouldn't difficult have sufficed? One of them would be curious enough to know what a cloud tastes like. A plain tasting piece of cotton candy with no taste and lots of water inside. How do you think the Noo-Noo empties himself after cleaning anything? The tubby custard, the tubby toast, the string, the cloud. I'd like to think that there's a waste disposal system in the center of the Superdome where the controls are. Noo-Noo sticks his vacuum hose in there and he just blows out all of the waste to get rid of it, all sent away into a magical, infinite void.
But all that custard and all that cloud were getting very mixed up inside the Noo-Noo.
Oh look, Noo-Noo coughed out some actual cotton candy, custard flavored. The birds will have a field day pecking at this.
Bye.
There's time for one more magical event before we go, and it is... Oh, it's this one. The really bizarre one. And that's saying a hell of a lot given this show. It's about a little puppet man living in a little pink house, and we see him aimlessly running around to 3 of its 4 rooms, all the while muttering some strange Pingu-esque gibberish. Until he eventually decides on a room where he wishes to show himself to the world, and then he decides to... The things that entertained you as a toddler, but then it just rots your mind as an adult.
Time for Tubby bye-bye. Time for Tubby bye-bye. Time for Tubby bye-bye.
Yes, please. This show is rotting all of our brains from its weird, strange ideas. The sooner we can end all of this and move on with our lives, the better.
Bye-bye, Lala.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Po.
Bye-bye.
Well, in conclusion, I'd say this show is just absolute...
Boo!
Boo! Boo!
Oh god, their young, impressionable minds can't grasp over the fact that we have to go and move on. This video is never going to end because the show itself doesn't want to end.
No.
Even the sun baby is screaming at you to go. They desperately want their beauty sleep.
The sun is setting in the sky. Teletubbies, say goodbye.
Do you think the moon in this land looks the same way as the sun, only their face is the opposite gender? Or does Teletubby Land even have a moon, since everything goes all pitch black once the sun has set, and we don't see any more light at all until it rises again hours later? Is that why the Teletubbies don't want to say goodbye? Because they're all scared of the complete darkness that shrouds the land every night? Why do I need to come all the way up here just for that? What, an hour-long video on my feet, aching like hell, broad summer daylight in my eyes, and I've got a pizza in the oven, and the house is probably on fire right now. Whatever it's done, I'm going for the fire brigade.